A suspect is in custody in connection with the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students last month. Authorities sorted through thousands of tips and tracked Brian Kohberger more than 2,000 miles away from the murder scene to his parents' home in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains. As Danya Bacchus reports, police are trying to determine a motive for the killings.
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes.
After 19,000 tips in a quadruple murder case that drew nationwide attention,
Detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohberger.
Kohberger was arrested at his parents' Pennsylvania home. The 28-year-old is a Ph.D. criminology student at Washington State University, just a 10-minute drive to the Idaho campus. Kohberger is being held without bail and will spend the weekend in Pennsylvania. His extradition back to Idaho expected next week. The arrest caps nearly 7 weeks of fear and frustration for families of the 4 murdered students.
This is the first bit of joy that we've had in close to 7 weeks. We hope that they've picked the right guy, and that gives us hope, and we haven't had hope for a long time.
Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Zayna Cornodal, and Ethan Chapin all stabbed multiple times as they slept inside this house near the campus. Despite surveillance video showing the victims in the hours before they were murdered, and despite thousands of tips pouring into the Moscow Police Department, there appeared, at least publicly, to be little movement on the case. No suspects, no arrest. As the grief mounted and many students left campus. Outside the house, the caution tape has finally come down.
No arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process.
The district attorney who will eventually prosecute Kohberger once he's back in Idaho says an arrest does not mean an end to the investigation. They are still searching for tips from anyone who knows the suspect. We should know more after the extradition hearing Tuesday in Pennsylvania. For CBS Saturday Morning, Danya Bacchus, Moscow, Idaho.